Hey everybody, welcome to Mike's Garage. Listen, we were talking the other day, and I was born in the 1940s, okay, so I've been around a long time. And we were talking the other day about the 1950s and some of the things that we remembered about that. And I think the coolest thing that I remember was television. I can remember my dad was served in World War II. He got out. He went to Temple University, got a degree in electronics, and he opened a radio repair store. He had a store where he sold and repaired radios, and he expanded in this fixing small appliances and things like that. Back in the day, would you have a toaster? Maybe. But the radios were 3 feet wide, 4 feet high, and 18 inches deep. That was a radio. And a lot of radios had like short wave on it where you could pick up air traffic, you could pick up the fire department, you could pick up foreign stations as they skipped across the atmosphere. So it was pretty neat. But then television came out. And we had a television in the store. We didn't have one in our house. We lived above the store. And during the day, he would have the television in the front window facing out towards the street. Now, we lived in a real tight community, a lot of row homes, twin homes, not too many single homes. So it was a very dense neighborhood. There was a lot of foot traffic around. Not too many people had cars, maybe a family had one car if they were lucky. But anyway, during the day, there would be a crowd standing outside of the Ardmore Park radio shop, which was my dad's store, and watching the TV. Now, they were outside, so what he did is he took the speaker and he wired an additional speaker, and he put the additional speaker outside. So on the nice days in the early evenings, there would be 10, 20, 15, 30 people standing outside watching the TV. Now, you have to understand, the TV was maybe 12 inches across, 12 inches, and it was black and white. So you really had to get close to see what was going on. But the picture was fuzzy. It wasn't that good. But everybody was there to watch it because it was a new invention. I mean, nobody had ever seen anything like that. So what they did is they came out with I think it was a plastic magnifying glass, and this hung in front of, it was about 18 inches across, and you would hang this, it was bubbled, you would hang it in front of the TV screen. Now if you stood back 10 feet, it looked like an 18-inch TV now, okay? But it was being magnified through this, and it was a little distorted, it had some imperfections in it, but the crowd could see more of the TV. So he used to sell the TVs, and you had to put up an antenna on your chimney, on your roof, one of those big antennas with all the lines sticking out, with all the arms sticking out, and you had to get it in the right direction. So that was his business then. And at night, what we used to do, he used to close the store, we would have dinner, and then we would go in and he would draw the curtains in front of the picture window in front of the store. We would turn the TV around, and we had some furniture that we would move in there, and we would sit in the store and watch the TV shows at night. And I tell you what, the 1950 TV shows were amazing. Okay, some of them you still know of today. The Lone Ranger was on after school. They had cartoons. Saturday morning they had wrestling. Haystacks Calhoun and all that. Yeah, way back then they had Saturday morning wrestling. That was a big thing to stay up and watch that. This is in the 1950s. Leave It to Beaver was one of the shows. I'm sure you younger people heard of that. It was a terrific show. My favorite character was Eddie Haskell. If you remember Eddie, okay? He was the two-faced guy that was talking one way in front of the guys, and as soon as an adult showed up, man, he was super cool. Mr. Nice Guy. Jackie Gleason had a show called The Honeymooners, and that was a comedy show, okay? We watched that every time it was on. I forget what it was on, once a week or something like that. No reruns. There's no such thing as reruns. No such thing as a replay. They started televising some of the sports with one or two cameras. They didn't have all the zoom in and all those things like that. One of the things that I used to watch, wasn't really allowed to watch, but I did watch it, was the Steve Allen Show. It was the original Tonight Show in the early 1950s. Most of you remember Johnny Carson or Jay Leno or some of those guys. I think, I forget the guy that has it right now. It's not Dave Letterman. He's out of there too. But anyway, it's a whole different ballpark with a bunch of young guys in there now. The Tonight Show is still around from the 1950s. I had several different hosts: Steve Allen, Ernie Kovac, and they had Johnny Carson, Jay Leno, and I still can't remember his name. Help me out. Give me a comment. Remind me his name. Okay. Rock and roll started back then too, and they had some of that on TV. They had some sock hops on there, and the late 1950s, they started with shows like the American Bandstand. It was after school, maybe 4 o'clock after school. They would have, everybody would go in, they would play the songs, and you'd see all the local kids dancing in there. That was, Dick Clark was filming downtown Philadelphia, and it was always something you rushed home to watch, the sock hop on TV, okay? So that was the big thing in the 1950s, was the television. When that came out, it was all black and white. It didn't have color TV. The screens got bigger. The pictures got clearer. It was on from 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 or 11 or maybe 12 o'clock at night. Then it went off the air. There was no such thing as all-night TV. That was it. They had TV personalities coming in. Just an amazing time to watch that on TV now and remember back when I was just a little kid, which was a long time ago, okay? So, if you have some memories of the 1950s and the television shows that you used to watch, give me a comment, okay? I'd like to discuss that a little bit more. It was a great time. I know the cars were wonderful and all that. Well, you know what? We'll do that next time. We'll talk about the cars. But the TV shows was the thing I remember the most because that was a family night. You used to sit down and watch a family show. It was a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed the story. Give me a comment. I could always use more subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss anything we're talking about here. But this is a back in the day. That's what we'll call it. Back in the day, I remember the TV shows of the 1950s. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe out there. Take care of each other. See you now.